Hey guys, it's Phoenix, aka Clinton. Today I'm taking a step away from shoes, metaphorically at least, so I can talk to you about Black History Month. Today we are talking about Michael Render. You might know him as Killer Mike.
And you so numb, you watch a cop choke out a man like me, until my voice goes from a shriek to whisper, I can't breathe.
And you know about his rap game, you know about his TV show, Trigger Warning with Killer Mike on Netflix. What you might not know about is his bank. This man teamed up with Bounce TV founder Ryan Glover and former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young, and they started Greenwood Bank, an online bank that is built specifically to support the Black and Latinx community. Nothing like this has ever been done before, but the seeds of it were set all the way back in 2016 when Killer Mike went public saying, everybody in Atlanta, Black people in Atlanta, pull your money out of the national banks, put it in Citizens Trust, a local Black-owned bank in Atlanta, so that they could show the large organizations that until they invested in the Black community properly, the money could go elsewhere. Apart from the socioeconomic contributions that he makes to the community, he also steps up in the political landscape a lot. Back in 2015, he first endorsed Bernie Sanders for president, saying that he was here for the revolution that he thought Bernie could bring forth. Making those comments made some pretty powerful enemies, unfortunately. One of the biggest was Hillary Clinton. We're still not sure the context of it, but Killer Mike popped up in one of Hillary's leaked emails that ultimately ended her presidential campaign when the email said, I guess Killer Mike didn't get the message. In fact, I'd like to argue that Killer Mike knows the message so much that that's why in the summer of 2020, when the city of Atlanta was falling prey to riots in the wake of George Floyd's murder, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms called on Mike to make an impassioned speech to the city trying to quell the violence, which he did beautifully, and the results spoke for themselves as the rioting stopped shortly thereafter. He is an inspiration to millions, including myself. And that's what brings me to today's quote.
Never forgetting the story of Jesus, the hero was killed by the state.
Alright, so let's get into that quote real quick. What we know of Jesus, apart from religion, anything else, I'm not here for that debate. Jesus was a man, a real man, that was born in the Middle East. At a time, thousands of years ago, that the controlling government was the Roman Empire, an invading force that came in and ruled over a bunch of people that did not look like them. Ultimately, Jesus stood up, he preached equality, he preached brotherhood, and the government didn't like it. Alright, they sought to quiet this man's voice, and they figured out a way by murdering him. Now, we see this happen through history a lot. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali was not murdered, but he was silenced for a period. And it has been this way for thousands of years. You're going to have somebody speaking their mind for the people, and you're going to have a controlling force that doesn't want to give up power. They don't coexist, they don't get along. And one of those people today who is standing up, talking for the people, is Killer Mike. Just another example of Killer Mike stepping up and talking to the community came just a few months ago. Biden had already won the presidency, but Georgia was far from settled. They had to have a runoff election to determine who their senators were going to be. Mike saw an opportunity for his community, his city, his state, his country. He stepped up, he urged the people to vote, and he got huge turnouts from the Black community, the Latinx community. Everybody needed showed up and they voted. And they got Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff elected to the Senate. That's two Democratic senators from the state of Georgia elected at the same time. That flipped the House. It was no longer under Republican control. It flipped over to the Democrats with the first Black vice president, Kamala Harris, being the tie-breaking vote in the Senate, which shifted the entire power structure of the entire country. It it doesn't come down to one man. This is not just because of Killer Mike. But one man can have one heck of an impact, and he did. To tell their story without mentioning him is wrong. Killer Mike has influenced the political landscape of an entire country. And to think that one man can stand up to the power structure and not be silenced, and to find victory, gives me hope.